Hello and welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to another 24/7 news report. The headline today comes from Joe Thomas from the Liverpool Echo, saying that Everton are hoping to beat Fulham to the signing of Manchester City midfielder Calvin Phillips on loan. This is also something that's recently been reported by Fabrizio Romano in an interview with Give Me Sport, I believe. In this quote, he says, Everton have an interest in Calvin Phillips. Not only Everton, but Everton are well informed on the situation. They have already made some contact with people close to the player to be aware of the situation around Calvin Phillips. I still expect him to leave Manchester City if they receive a good proposal. So that's the idea. Everton have an interest, but nothing advanced or close to being completed. But in this moment, it's still early stages of the story. With Calvin Phillips, to be honest with you, again, it's one of those where I trust what Sean Dyche has done with rejuvenating some players. We've seen improved form from players like Idrissa Gueye under him. We've seen rejuvenations in Mykolenko in early stages where he looked really good before injuries and then form dipped out a little bit. Similarly to Calvert-Lewin, I think you've seen some of Calvert-Lewin's best performances under Sean Dyche. So it doesn't really surprise me that he's interested in this sort of, of course, wanted to give Dele Alli a chance, I believe, but injuries and Dele Alli is still training with the first team now, I believe. Dyche likes a reclamation project. He likes to try bring these players back. He sees the ability in players and believes in himself to be able to get there out of them. I think it's one where, again, I'm not against it. He has massive wages at City though, and I wouldn't want us to be paying even like 30% of them, to be honest. I think he's on like 180, 200 grand a week. It may be less than that, to be fair. But yeah, Phillips is an interesting one. I think this is one of those where it's nailed on to happen, to be honest with you. I think Phillips is nailed on to leave to one of the mid-table Premier League teams, us, Fulham, teams like in that mould. I can't see a world where it doesn't happen, to be completely honest with you. So I'd be shocked if Phillips doesn't move. I can just see Phillips looking at Everton as a destination where players have improved under Dyche, but also there is a big João Palhinha hole at Fulham, which would probably be of interest to Calvin Phillips, seeing how the Portuguese midfielder did perform during his time at Fulham. But also, coming from Joe Thomas, is that Everton have no interest in Barcelona forward Vitor Roque. There's a lot of news that was coming out about Roque recently that we apparently made an offer of up to 20 to 25 million, while Barca wanted 30 to 35, I believe. And that was the issue at play. Again, now it's been confirmed that we had no interest in him whatsoever. A little bit disappointing. I think Roque is a player who has a lot of talent, still young, can develop, but I don't think he's the type of striker that Sean Dyche wants, unless he's going to play him out on the wing. Again, I might be wrong and Roque might be a winger, but I'm pretty sure he's a striker, and I don't really think he offers the skill set that Dyche wants out of a starting forward. And if there are rumours of paying 30 million euros, again, if we're going to spend that much, I think Dyche is going to want a forward who fits his system. And I just don't really see Everton signing a striker unless Calvert-Lewin leaves, to be honest with you. I'd be more inclined to see that in January if it's confirmed that Calvert-Lewin is going to run down his contract, to be honest. I don't really see us looking for a striker unless it's maybe a loan for Broja. That's the most likely one, because considering the Broja mill just keeps getting rinsed and repeated at this point, and that every other day there's a new rumour about Broja coming out, so we'll have to see. This is also, according to Damatio, Ipswich are holding advanced talks with Napoli over Swedish midfielder Jens Kajust on loan. Everton have been linked with Kajust, but this looks to be the end of it. I don't know much about Kajust. He might be a decent player. Again, if you know much about him, drop him in the comments below, but it looks like Ipswich are going to be getting their hands on him. I can imagine. I don't know how loans work with players from the same club, but I can imagine that has been a problem, was bringing Lindstrom in. I don't know if you can bring in multiple players on loans from European clubs, bringing in multiple players on loan from Napoli. I don't know if that's possible. Again, don't know much about him, but it looks like we won't be getting him anyway, to be honest with you. Moving on to the next bit of news, Everton are interested in signing Real Betis and USA international Johnny Cardoso from Real Betis if they can't agree a deal with Manchester City for Calvin Phillips, and that comes from Team Talk. Cardoso's one where, if I have a look here, I don't know too much about him. Made 15 starts for Real Betis last season, but looks like your real typical defensive midfielder. Has comparisons to players like Edson Alvarez, if you want someone from the Premier League to compare to. Tackle numbers through the roof. Again, I've had to do a little bit of Googling here, but around 3.25 tackles per 90, 2.17 interceptions. both of them putting him in the top 5% of defensive midfielders or slash midfielders in Europe for that statistic. So I think it's interesting. I mean, Cardoso, I don't know how much bettors are going to be asking for, in a sense, because again, it looks like someone who has real promise defensively and could really help them out. So I don't know how much they're going to ask for, and of course he is a USA international, and I don't know if he played a role in their Copa America campaign, but that was a disappointing one for the US, so I can't imagine that's much to harp on, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, that is all for our news today. But before we do end the video off, I would like to end off on saying that our thoughts and prayers are with everyone involved, the family and our friends of Kevin Campbell, as of course his funeral were today. Again, everyone here at the Toffee Blues and every Everton fan is, again, mention it again, sending their thoughts and prayers to the Campbell family. And that is all for this video. If you did enjoy, please make sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Everton Newsfeed, and follow me on Twitter at Callum 3. And I will see you all for the next video and or live stream that I'm on. Goodbye, everyone.